On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them.
Savannah Guthrie, the trusted voice that awakens America every morning, has built a career on asking the tough questions for over a decade. She's sat in one of the most coveted chairs in television on the NBC Today Show, interviewing presidents, covering tragedies, celebrating triumphs. At 54, she commands a presence that radiates warmth and authority in equal measure. But what happens when the journalist who tells everyone else's story must face her own? When the woman who brings clarity to chaos discovers that her own life can unravel in an instant? This is the heartbreaking truth about Savannah Guthrie, a story of medical emergencies that threatened to end everything, of balancing motherhood with one of the most demanding jobs in broadcasting, of sudden losses that came without warning. The world sees the polished co-anchor with the perfect smile, but behind that smile lies a story not glamorous, but brutal, filled with moments when everything hung by a thread. If Savannah Guthrie has ever made you feel informed, comforted, or inspired during your morning routine, hit like as tribute to her resilience and dedication. This is the story of a woman who nearly lost her eyesight twice, who juggled breaking news while nursing newborns, who smiled through tragedy, and who did it all in front of millions of watching eyes. This is her untold story. December 27, 1971, Savannah Guthrie was born in Melbourne, Australia, where her father, Charles Guthrie, was stationed as a U.S. Army officer. Her beginning was marked not by celebrity, but by constant upheaval. Military life meant moving, always moving. By the time she was 2, her family relocated to Tucson, Arizona. The desert became home, but stability remained elusive. Her parents divorced when she was young, a fracture that would shape her understanding of resilience and adaptability. Her mother, Nancy, worked tirelessly to provide. There were no shortcuts, no safety nets. Savannah learned early that success wasn't inherited. It was earned. She watched her mother navigate single parenthood with grace, a lesson that would echo decades later when she became a mother herself. School became her sanctuary. She excelled academically, finding power in knowledge and expression. At Amphitheater High School in Tucson, she discovered journalism, the craft that would define her life. But the path wasn't obvious. Not at first. She attended University of Arizona, graduating in 1993 with a degree in journalism. Then came the pivot that surprised everyone: law school. Savannah enrolled at Georgetown University Law Center, earning her Juris Doctor in 2002. For years, she practiced law, constitutional law, litigation. The courtroom, not the newsroom, was her arena. But something was missing. That hunger to tell stories, to uncover truth, to connect with people. It never left. At 30, she made a decision that seemed reckless to some: abandon a legal career, to pursue broadcast journalism. No guarantees, no safety net. Just faith in her own abilities and a relentless work ethic inherited from her mother. 2000, to mark the beginning, Savannah Guthrie joined Court TV as a legal analyst and correspondent, covering high-profile trials. Her legal background gave her an edge. She understood procedure, precedent, nuance. But television is brutal. It demands more than knowledge. It demands presence. She worked grueling hours for modest pay, learning the craft from the ground up. 2004 brought the breakthrough, a position at NBC News as a legal analyst. Finally, the big leagues, but not the spotlight. Not yet. For years, she worked behind the scenes, covering stories, building credibility, waiting for her moment. 2007, NBC named her a national correspondent and co-anchor of the 9 a.m. hour of Today. The recognition was growing, but so was the pressure. She covered the 2008 presidential election, traveling relentlessly, filing reports at all hours. Then came 2011, the year everything changed. NBC named Savannah Guthrie co-anchor of Today, alongside Matt Lauer. She was 39 years old. The salary jumped to an estimated $7 million annually, a staggering leap from her early days. But the position came with impossible expectations. Today had been America's top morning show for decades. Millions of viewers, Crushing competition from ABC's Good Morning America. Every interview mattered. Every segment was scrutinized, and she was replacing in Curry, a beloved figure whose departure sparked controversy. The pressure was suffocating, but Savannah delivered. Morning after morning, year after year, she interviewed President Barack Obama, President Donald Trump, world leaders, celebrities, everyday heroes. By 2017, her salary had risen to approximately $8 million per year. In 2023, she signed a new contract, reportedly worth $10 million annually. The girl from Tucson had reached the pinnacle of broadcast journalism. But success, as she would learn, doesn't shield you from tragedy. November 27, 2019, a Wednesday morning, Savannah was playing with her then 2-year-old son, Charles, in their kitchen, normal, routine, safe. Then, in an instant, catastrophe. Charlie accidentally threw a toy train that struck Savannah directly in her right eye. The pain was immediate and blinding. She knew instantly something was terribly wrong. An emergency visit to the ophthalmologist confirmed her worst fears. Her retina had torn. Without immediate surgery, she could lose vision in that eye permanently. The world stopped. Here was a woman whose career depended on her ability to see, to read teleprompters, to connect with viewers through eye contact, and suddenly, that was threatened. She underwent emergency surgery the very next day, Thanksgiving 2019. While America gathered around tables, Savannah lay in an operating room, fighting to save her sight. The recovery was brutal. Strict bed rest, no movement, darkness. For someone whose life was defined by constant motion and relentless schedules, the forced stillness was torture. She missed work, something she rarely did. But the fear ran deeper than missing shows. What if the surgery didn't work? What if her vision never fully recovered? What if this was the end? Weeks passed. Slowly, carefully, her vision returned. The surgery was successful. She returned to today with gratitude and relief. But the trauma lingered. Then came June 11, 2020. COVID-19 had transformed the world. Savannah was broadcasting from home, trying to maintain normalcy during chaos. That morning, she reached for something in her backyard. Another accident. Another impacted the same eye. This time, a branch. The familiar pain returned, sharper, more terrifying, because she knew what it meant. Another torn retina. The same eye. Lightning had struck twice. Back to the ophthalmologist. Back to surgery. This time, the recovery was longer, more uncertain. To retinal tears in 7 months. She shared her ordeal on air, her voice steady, but her eyes revealing the fear beneath. "I feel like we've all got to give ourselves a break," she said, fighting back tears. "These are strange times, strange times." Indeed, but this was personal trauma unfolding in public. What few people know is the psychological toll, the constant fear that one wrong movement, one accident, could end her career. The guilt of being unavailable to her children, Yale, born in 2014, and Charlie, born in 2016, while recovering. And there was more heartbreak, quieter but no less devastating. In 2014, just months after giving birth to Vale via surrogate at age 42, Savannah returned to work during one of today's darkest periods. The show was hemorrhaging viewers. Internal tensions ran high. She smiled through it all, professional to the core. But behind the scenes, she was navigating postpartum emotions, sleep deprivation, and the crushing responsibility of saving a sinking ship. Then came 2017, and the Matt Lauer scandal. Her co-anchor of 6 years was fired for sexual misconduct. On November 29, 2017, Savannah had to address the nation, her voice shaking with emotion. "We are devastated," she said on air. "I'm heartbroken for Matt. He is my dear, dear friend and my partner, and he is beloved by many, many people here. And I'm heartbroken for the brave colleague who came forward to tell her story." The world saw her professionalism, but internally, she was shattered, grappling with betrayal, confusion, and the realization that someone she trusted had caused such harm. She had to mourn a friendship while leading a show through crisis. No time to process, no space to grieve. Just cameras and millions of eyes expecting answers she didn't have. It is heartbreaking when the person who tells stories of trauma becomes the story herself. At 54, Savannah Guthrie still wakes America every morning. Her vision, miraculously, has held both surgeries successful, though she admits to moments of anxiety whenever something comes near her eyes. She lives in New York City with her husband, Michael Feldman, a political communications consultant she married in 2014, and their 2 children. Her estimated net worth stands at approximately $30 million, a testament to decades of dedication. But the money isn't what defines her now. It's the moments between the broadcasts, the morning routine with Vale, now 10, and Charlie, now 8. The realization that life is fragile, that vision, both literal and metaphorical, can disappear in an instant. She's become an advocate for eye health, speaking openly about her injuries to raise awareness. Her vulnerability has deepened her connection with viewers. They don't just see a polished anchor anymore. They see a mother who nearly lost her sight, a professional who kept going when everything hurt. She balances for AM wake-up calls with school pickups, breaking news with bedtime stories. In 2024, she celebrated her 13th year as Today co-anchor, a remarkable tenure in an industry that chews people up and spits them out. Recent projects include a children's book, Princesses Wear Pants, co-written with Allison Oppenheim, teaching young girls about strength and independence, the lessons she learned from her mother's resilience, from her own medical emergencies, from navigating public scandal, now flow into everything she creates. She's found peace not in perfection, but in acceptance. Acceptance that life will throw branches and toy trains. Acceptance that you can do everything right and still face catastrophe. Acceptance that showing vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the truest form of strength. At 54, Savannah Guthrie stands as proof that resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time, even when your vision is blurred and the path forward is uncertain. From Melbourne, Australia to Tucson, Arizona, to the anchor desk of America's most watched morning show. From law school graduate to $10 million per year journalist. From devastating eye injuries to still showing up, still asking questions, still connecting with millions. Behind the Today Show smile lies a warrior who understands that every morning is a gift. That sight is precious, that the stories we tell matter, because our own stories are so fragile. If this story touched your heart, leave a tribute below. Share a moment when Savannah Guthrie's grace under pressure, her honest vulnerability, or her steadfast presence reminded you that strength doesn't mean never breaking. It means putting yourself back together and showing up anyway, even when the cameras are rolling and the world is watching. This is Savannah Guthrie, journalist, mother, survivor, still here, still seeing, still telling the stories that matter.